as a continue.
Jump cut.
So he proceeds to do this, and I immediately jump up without my pants on, grab the lock on the door, throw I pretty much rip that thing to the other side, unlock the door, and sprint out. And like, I don't know what I'm expecting to do, but I run out the bathroom, and I turn around in sheer fucking awe, or disbelief in what happened just now. And I'm covered in it. I looked like I was actually doing military training, crawling through the mud. But no, that mud was fucking dirty brown water from someone's butt. So I walk up to the sink and I do my best to clean myself off. And meanwhile, this fucking mystery man walks out of the stall and he acts like nothing has happened. I look at him and this man looks greasy. Like, he looks like he probably lives out on the streets, but I guarantee you, just by looking at his possessions that he had with him, he somehow he was so contradicting. And I look at him, expecting him to say like, "Hey, like, sorry," or I don't even know, but he just looked at me and was like, "Hey,
sorry."
So I turned to him and I'm like, "What the fuck was that for?" And he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "What the fuck do you mean what?" And I like confront him about it. Like, how he just shit on me. And he's like, "Oh yeah, sorry man." And then proceeds to wash his hands and leave. And I'm just like, how do you just do that? I'm astonished. But I go to the office. I'm like, "Hey," I need to like leave. I've just been like shit on.
Hey.
And they're like, "No, go back to class."
Understand?
So I have to go back to class.
Wait, this is in school?
And they're basically just like, "Go back to class." They didn't believe me because they didn't think someone would fucking shit on someone over the stall.
Should have cleaned yourself.
So I have to walk back to class because I can't do anything about this. I walk back to class, still partially covered in this man's shit and feces and watery bowels. And
whole bowels came out. And
I sit down, and immediately everyone's like, "What is that smell?" And I'm just like, an incident, and they think I like shat my pants. But little do they know I was shit on. I try to explain, and they push me off. And the day just goes horribly. It's like a quick thing that spread. Falsified rumor that I shit myself. But that's basically the time I was. That's the time I was shat on and exiled from all social life at school. Anyway, I hope you guys like and subscribe and smash that bell for more stories and stuff.
Now for my second story.
So, for this next story, it also unfortunately has to deal with human excrements. This one happened probably, honestly, it was kind of recent. I want to say 3 months ago at max. And so the way this one goes is, like I said prior, 3 months back, roughly, I was doing completely fine, but I had organized a bit of a group event with some of my pals, and I was just about to head out. And so, as I'm, you know, getting just, you know, completely ready. I don't want to show up, you know, without something important. I look over to my bathroom, and I'm like, I just internally think, do I need to use the bathroom? No, I don't believe I do. And then, you know, it was the quickest thought. And I finish getting ready. I get in my car and I leave. I was, you know, it's pretty new. I was a bit anxious about it, but I was ready. So I pull out and
What? You pull out? I just zoned
head
back in and I
to
heard you say
the
pull out.
location we were meeting at, and I don't see them.
See who?
I wait about 10 minutes, still no sight of him, so I decide I'm just gonna wait longer. And I'd say 5 minutes pass after I'd already waited for a bit longer, and then something hits me as I'm sitting in my car. A almost guttural feeling just begins to rise. I think not much of it, but I get knowledge that it's there. And so I proceed with just, they show up, all is good, but in my back of my, there's still that feeling. But we proceed, and just go on a little hike. That was relatively simple. It was just gonna be a hike, and then we would just chill, as most friends they do. So we're about 30 minutes now into this hike, and this guttural feeling I mentioned gets deeper. It feels more intense. But again, I don't mind it much. I try and just not think about it. And so we keep walking. And it gets stronger and stronger. And this is when I start to see if there's any kind of public areas that might hold a restroom on this trail. And of course, there isn't. It's a pretty nature-driven trail. So I begin to worry just the slightest bit. But I don't want to look worried, so I keep my cool under my friend's gaze. And just, I trail behind a little bit. And we keep walking, and it keeps getting stronger and stronger. So I mentioned I might have to, like, leave early. Or I might have to plan, or something came up. Just in case I need to, like, really, like, get out of here. And it's about halfway through this conversation that it hits. I can just feel the release of something. And the gut feeling completely releases, but something much worse releases into my pants. So, as I'm speaking, it just comes out. All this little built up energy just releases. And I just speechless. And I make eye contact with them, and their faces go from laughing and smiling to disgust, to despair.
A sad frown.
But I stand there. I'm not sure what to do. And they say to me, yeah, we'll catch you up ahead, as they turn and leave. To leave me with my fractured ego, my pride gone, and now my very heavy and wet pants. And that's, I did proceed to meet up with them later up ahead. I went back to my car, drove home, and cried. And that's yeah, that's the second story. I hope you will like and subscribe and push notification, or I might not be able to afford my payment for the month. See ya. Alright, another story coming in. That's actually kind of wild, and it happened just like a week or two ago with school starting up. But before I get into it, you should like, subscribe, and hit notifications, or my 5-year-old brother won't be able to probably eat. And so yeah, getting right into the story. I was at lunch, and it was relatively normal lunch day. Got my lunch, sat down, was talking with friends. But my friend, someone, it's kind of like a distant friend, but I still know him a bit. He walks up and mentions to the whole table that there's something happening in the bathroom. Now, us hearing this, we just kind of assumed, okay, whatever, it's probably just another fight, since those were relatively common. But we kind of ignore it. And so lunch goes on, you know, I'd say there's about half of lunchtime left before we gotta get back to classes, and I decide I might as well check out whatever's happening. So I head over to the bathrooms, which it was a bit of a climb. They were on the 3rd floor, so definitely those stairs put a bit of work on me. And so I walk up, and it looks abandoned. There's nobody up here, but there's a bit of noise coming from the bathroom. And I walk in, and it just still I can hear 2 people like kind of grunting. So there still could be a fight, but I turn, because you gotta turn a little corner to like get to the main part, and I don't see him, but I hear the grunting coming from the stall, farthest one from the door. And I'm like, what, huh? I'm pretty confused, right? And so I like slowly, I'm like a bit cautious on this. I walk over to the stall, and door's closed. I check it, it's not locked though. And so I open it, and inside, like a time capsule of some event, are these 2 dudes just fucking going buck wild on each other. But
Joey Kelly.
I'm talking in a sensual way. Just ramming up behind him. It was just...
Thank you for the
I was flabbergasted. They were hammering like no tomorrow, and they just don't. They act like I'm not even there. Seeing this, I almost throw up. I'm not against that kind of stuff, but man, it is just a sight to see in school. I am not wanting to disturb this because I'm afraid of these 2 men's energy. I walk slowly back towards the door and just try and leave quietly, because this was, I was honestly terrified. And so as I slowly walk out, I see the friend who told me, or us, or the table about it, but I'm the only one who went. I see him, and he's just chilling up here. I don't know how I missed him when I first got up to the floor, but he sees me walk out of the bathroom, and he's like, interesting? And I'm like, no. What the fuck, man? And he's like, I mean, it's interesting though. And I'm like, no, it fucking isn't. Like, hey, what the fuck, man? And just, I like kind of brush past him, like, because I don't, he's considering that stuff interesting. I don't know about that. But, lunch period ends, and I kind of have to deal with that knowledge that, I'm never gonna go to the third floor bathroom's, last stall again, because, it's kind of soiled now. But, that's relatively short, simple story. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit notifications so that, I will have something to eat this afternoon. See ya.
Alright guys, so time for my first story. So I was hanging out with my friend, we'll just call him Jimmy Fallon, and I was hanging out with Jimmy Fallon one day in you know, like 4th grade, and he says to me, hey Greg, you wanna, there's this girl who I know. Her name is like, you know, Hernandez or something. I don't remember. And, she's pretty fine, right? So I was thinking maybe we could, like, you know, do something about it, right? And I say, well, what do you mean do something about it? And he points over to the teacher, and he says, we get her to you know, tell one of those stories that take up a lot of class time. And while that's happening, we say we have to go to the bathroom, right? And then I'm like, what are you rambling about? What are you talking about, man? And he says, no, it's alright, I got a plan. So he keeps detailing me about this plan of his. And he says, so we're going to get the teacher, we're going to make her, you know, waste the class time like we said. And while that's happening, we sneak off to the bathroom, and I have a backpack full of duct tape there, right? So I'm sure you can see where I'm going with this. And I say, I don't particularly understand. I'm trying to do my multiplication tables. And he says, what? Shut up. So we go to the bathroom, and there's a backpack marked with the word Jimmy, for Jimmy Fallon, you know, because that's his name. And he opens it up, and there's just all sorts of paraphernalia in there, right? You've got tape, you've got scissors, you know, it's like an arts and crafts wet dream in there. And I'm saying, what are we even doing with this? You still haven't told me, still haven't, you know, actually said to me what exactly we're gonna do with this. And he's like, well, I saw this this guy on YouTube called, like, you know, I don't remember his name, but he did this, he was dressed up as Spider-Man. And there was a woman in the video who was Elsa from Frozen, and Spider-Man covered her mouth in duct tape and took her to his home, and that it would be cool if we did that, I think. And I'm like, heck yeah, that sounds epic. I want to be Spider-Man. So we go through with the plan. We walk back into the classroom. The teacher, Miss Jenkins. And we say, Miss Jenkins, what's been going on in your life? And she says, well, I've been having tax issues with the IRS. They think I'm a fraud. I'm innocent. I have a court hearing this weekend, and it doesn't really matter. It's kind of boring, but the class time's being taken up. You know, she's just talking to Al, the class pet. Of course, I hate him. And while that time is being used, very non-sparingly, I guess you could say, me and Jimmy, we grab the woman, who I still don't know her name at this point. We grab the woman. She kind of like yells out, but the teacher drank some like weird substance earlier, and she was acting kind of weird, so I don't think she like really necessarily heard her. And so basically we tape her up, get the scissors, chop, you know, and we go up to the bathroom. She's kind of heavy, and we're like, heck yeah. But we forgot our Spider-Man costumes, so we had to go back home to get those. So Jimmy Fallon, you know, he left the stall. We were gonna leave her like tied to the toilet or something, and then he says, "Greg, no, come back. I love you." And I'm like, whoa, now we're getting somewhere. So and she says, "I'll do whatever you want if you untie me from these chains." And I say, oh, homina, this is what I'm talking about. So I get the scissors, you know, untie her, cut up the duct tape, and we go home. Jimmy Fallon's, you know, blowing up my phone. It's a Samsung, so, you know. And she says to me, I watched this video from this website. I forgot its name, but its logo was like orange or something, and it was pretty cool. I think we should try it out. And I'm like, heck yeah. So she starts taking off my pants, and I'm like, whoa, what the heck is going on here, buddy? And she says, don't worry, just trust me. So I'm like, okay. So, you know, I do whatever, take off, you know, the pants, whatever they're called, and I'm feeling kind of uncomfortable, but it's okay. Maybe I'll get like some money or something, I don't know. And then she starts taking off her pants, and at this point, you know, I'm getting kind of interested, maybe you could say, even in 4th grade. And but then as she takes off her pants, I see there's a little bit of like a, you know, something down there that I would not typically think would be down there. And I say, what? Just hold on a minute. And she's like, what's the big idea? And finally she releases it, and it's just like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's terrifying. I was never the same since. My 4th grade girlfriend was a femboy, and yeah, that's my story.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Mike Oxmal here, coming at you with another story. This is really crazy, and I feel like it just needs to be shared with people because no one would believe me unless I said it on the internet. Now, due to the recent success of our last video, I really hope that we can get this video to at least 2 likes. My mother would actually like me, and she wouldn't kick me out of the house. So can we please get 2 likes on this video? I will eat my hat. Anyways, I was driving down a dark road at night, and just going back from McDonald's. The ice cream machine was broken, of course. I'm driving down the highway, and I look up into the morning, and boys have stopped. They're just sitting in the middle of the road. And I wonder to myself, why are they just stopped in the middle of the road? And so I drive up there, and then I get out of my car, and I see what they're stopping for, and it's a fucking deer and shit. So I say, hey, why, just move the deer? I don't know what you're doing. And they just keep staring at the deer, and then one honks, and the deer moves, and then they all start moving again. But what I had done was get out of my car, so I went back to my car. Before I was able to get in view of my car, I heard a loud crash, and the honk of a very big vehicle, and the angry shout of a big man. I walked out of my car, where my car was, and there's a guy, I'd say 6'2", I'd say maybe 300 pounds of pure muscle, standing right outside his big truck. You'd see hauling logs. He's standing out the logs, all angry, and that's what happened. His truck is completely killed. I have a Volkswagen Bug, and it has near damage on that thing. The truck is absolutely destroyed. My Volkswagen Bug is so powerful that his puny little truck couldn't withstand it. He stares at me and he says, "Hey, did you see the car?" I say, "Yes." And he goes, "Okay." He says, "Okay, well, you fucking destroyed my car." I said, "No, I didn't. You destroyed your own car because I wasn't in my car." He said, "Well, your car fucked up my truck, so now I am going to sue you." I said, "Why?" And he says, "Because that's just how the wind works." And I say, "Well, that's just kind of dumb." So he gets on his phone, he calls his multiple lawyers, and I just call my mother. She's yet again disappointed in me. Well, someone calling my mother and crying. I then call my lawyer, which is also just my mother. And she says, "Just give him the money." I say, "I don't have money." She says, "Well," and then she hangs up on me. So I'm sitting here, I don't know what to do. So then I ask him, I say, "Hey, are you a veteran?" He's an older guy. And he says yes. And I said, "By chance did you fight in Vietnam?" And he said, "Well, yes, I did. Why do you ask?" And I start screaming, "Please!" And he goes into a PTSD attack and starts running around and screaming and yelling and crying. And I laugh as he writhes in pain from all this mental torment. I get in my car and I drive away. That's the end of the story.
What's going on, guys? It's me, Resident Pooper, and today I've got another poop story for you. It's really weird how I keep getting put into these poopy situations, but I guess it's just how it's got a PC. So today's sponsor is actually a bidet company. I can't fucking remember what they're called, but like, you should get a bidet so that you don't have to use your hand. I know that really annoys me when I'm on the toilet, because then I have to wash my hands, and I don't like doing that. So let's get on with the story. So the story starts off with me walking to my classroom at school. It seemed like a normal day at first, but it got really shitty, and not in the bad way. I go into my classroom, and I start doing my schoolwork. And it just so happens we start talking about the organs and how some of them are used to create fecal matter and remove the excess mass not needed in our body into our shitholes. So after that class, I really like that class, by the way. But after that class, I go back to. It's actually lunch now, so I go to lunch, and they have this mysterious brown meat-like substance. And I say, "What is it?" And they say, "It's the special meat." I say, "Well, what makes it special?" And they just smile. And they said, "Don't mind the smell, hee hee hee." And I say, "Okay, give me some. Put on a bun." They say, "Do you want any cheese?" And I say, "Fuck no."
Hell yeah.
So I sit down with my friends. We're all enjoying the special meat. It's got a very interesting flavor. It's very intriguing. You know, there's a little bitterness to it, but I can respect it. It's like a fine wine. Once me and my friends are done with our special meat burgers and our normal fries, we throw our trash away. The next day, I'm back at school, about to get another special burger, and they don't have it. So I ask the person, I say, "Hey, where are the special burgers?" And they say, "Oh, sorry, we can't serve those anymore." I say, "Well, why can't you serve me the special burger?" I said, "It was really good. Why can't I have it?" And I say, "Oh, well, that was actually human feces. You were fed human feces." And I say, "How? How did I not know it was human feces?" And they said, "Well, because the guy who made it literally only ate other people's feces, and therefore his feces became the best." And I said, "Oh, well, why would you allow him to sell feces burgers?" Jesus, I don't call the shots here, kid. I said, "Go talk to the principal about that." I say, "Okay, I do." Just like how the Trumpians stormed the Capitol, me and my friends stormed the principal office to understand why we were fed shit burgers the day before. We hold them by the suit collar, and we say, "Listen here, if you don't tell us why we were served shit burgers, we will literally feed you our shit." Little known fact about our group: we're called the shit givers. Why? Because we because we beat people up and we give them our shit. And then we take theirs. So we get him into sharing this information, and he says, "Well, we just couldn't afford the chicken sandwiches." And I said, "How? You have like 5 million of those in the back freezer." And he says, "Well, they were just too cold." And I said, "Well, why didn't you heat them?" He says, "I don't know, you should ask the lunch lady." So, just like storming the Capitol, me and my friends went to the lunch lady. We said, "Hey, why didn't you just thaw out the chicken?" And she says, "I don't know." And so, long story short, we take her shit, she's pummeled into the ground, and we then enjoy a nice lunch lady shit special.
Insane. So, on September 11th, 2002, I was at my local Conoco gas station when I saw on the news that it was the 1-year anniversary of 9/11. And I thought to myself, man. So then I went home, and there were police outside of my front door, and my mother was there, and my family, and all of that. And they said, Greg, something terrible has happened. You need to come here. And I said, okay. And I went there, and they said, the house, there's a room in it. You can't go in. And I said, well, why is that? And the policeman, he walked over, and he said, Greg, you're under arrest for public indecency. And I said, what? What did I even do? And he says, you were indecent in public. So he cuffed me very aggressively, and in kind of like a sensual way even. And you know, he like pretended to pepper spray me, but not really. And he brought me to the jail, and I was very sad. I had homework to do that had not yet been finished, and I don't want to get an F. It's worth like half of my grade this semester. I'm already not doing well. I got an F in my science, you know, and this homework, I just needed to do it. And I lost my pen. I don't even know how I was gonna do the homework. All I know is that I needed to do it. I would have gotten a toothpick, pricked my thumb, written it with my own blood if I could have, right? This homework was very important to me, and I needed to do it. Anyway, I get arrested, I go to jail, and the copper, the fuzz, he says to me, he says, alright, Greg, you're under arrest for public indecency. I said, you already told me that, I know, but I don't understand how I was indecent in the public. And he said, shut it, kiddo, I'm a police. And he brought me to my cell. All that was in it was a toilet and a concrete bed. They didn't even give me a blanket. And I thought that was quite inhumane. But they seemed indifferent to it, and sadistic even, in the way they kicked me into the age of retaliation for my hypothetical crimes that I may or may not have even committed in the first place. But, so yeah, I'm arrested, and my cellmate, his name is, Pars, and he's a kind of a big guy, you know. He's got some moves on him, and he said to me, so what are you in for? And I said, to be honest with you, Cars, I don't even know. And he goes, interesting, I'm in for child molestation. And I was afraid. So I decided I needed to get out of here as quick as possible to escape from the big guy, Cars. And I hatched a plan over 3 years. And during those 3 years, I was plotting deviously. No one could even comprehend my higher brain function, the higher plane of existence during those 3 years. If I was a free man at that time, my IQ would have been incountable. It would have been the amount of fractions in between 0 and 1. Anyway, my plan, it was very complex, and if I tried to explain it, you wouldn't understand it. You're stupid, alright? You're an idiot. But, generally, the consensus is that I escaped prison. And I'm out. I'm free. I don't have any pants, but that's alright. And I'm starting to walk home. And when I get there, I get to 235 Yale Boulevard. I see that the house is, there's still policemen around it. they've been there for a while, supposedly. And I sneak past them with my newly gained stealth skill that I grinded in prison. And I walk into the room. I walk into my room and the door is closed. And for some reason the bottom, where usually there's a little slit for air or other miscellaneous things, it's covered up. I say, huh, that's interesting. And I open the door. It's very tough to open. Like the door, it's steel for reasons I don't want to go into. And it's, you know, heavy, you need like a couple of keys. And it's got this weird like foam cloth on the bottom, which I do not appreciate. And I open the door, finally, after about, 10 minutes. It didn't work out in prison. I don't have time for that. I was hatching my escape plot to get away from the big man. But, I open the door, and I feel myself washed over with a warm tidal wave of just some sort of yellow liquid. And at that moment, I feel euphoric. I feel as if I'm finally home. And then I try to open my eyes, but it hurts. So what I do, I try and swim up. I hit the ceiling. My head hits the ceiling. It hurts. My head hurts. It's got a bump on it now. And I feel like I'm drowning. I still don't know what liquid this could be, but I have a sneaking suspicion of, what it could be. And I don't like it. And I think back to 3 years ago. I had just gotten back from the freshman homecoming, and I drank a voluptuous amount of liquids at that venue for reasons I also don't want to go into. And I really needed to pee, I didn't want to go in the bush, that's a bit rude, right? But it's like you get it's this primal feeling of needing to, go that you just can't ignore. And I already knew it was too late to go to the bathroom. It's worthless. There's no point anymore. It's too late. My chance is gone. The only thing I could do now was just accept defeat and, go right there in my top bunk of the bunk bed. And so I did. And as it came out, this feeling I felt was ethereal. It was unlike anything I'd ever felt before. I was causing some sort of piss tsunami, right? And it just continued to flow like a pressure washer. There was a stain on my wall for 3 years. After this, it was gone, right? And it was just generally very unfortunate. And I still don't know why it was counted as public indecency. Because, it was in my house. I don't consider that a public place, necessarily. But, flash forward back to 3 years, where we are now. I remember that event, drowning in my own 3-year-old piss. And there's a couple microorganisms here and there. That's nothing to worry about. All I gotta do now is not drown, right? I swim over to the door. I mean the window. And I start, pounding the window. Because I need it to open. I'm drowning it. But it won't budge. It's, it's acrylic. It's not tempered glass. It's not the easiest to break. And, I'm just generally in a very unfortunate situation. So I then remember that in my bottom drawer there's a bomb. So I go get it. It could, break the window, probably. So I go grab the bomb. I set it for 40 seconds, which was a mistake. And I set it for 40 seconds. I light the fuse and set the charge. I placed on the window. Swim back, and then I realize that I still don't have any pants. And that's about it.